Guys, there's a classic investment strategy I've used for years in traditional markets, and without even realizing it, I've been applying it to Pokemon card investing too. It's made me thousands of dollars and has helped me afford the collection I own today. You've probably heard the phrase before, but most collectors and investors don't actually use it intentionally in this hobby. Big shout out to the Card Lounge podcast hosted by RoboSkills and Twice Baked Jake for bringing this up in their most recent video. If you're not already following them, definitely check them out. And the strategy is simple: buy the rumor, sell the news. Before we dive in, I just want to give a huge thanks to everyone who's watched my previous videos, and an especially big thanks to those of you that reached out asking how you can support the channel. A couple of you even offered to send me money electronically to help fund new filming equipment since I'm a very small channel and don't monetize my videos. And while I really appreciate it, just watching, liking, and subscribing is more than enough. That being said, I did set up some Amazon affiliate links for the equipment and TCG supplies I currently use, so if you happen to need any of those and really want to support, check out the links in the description. Alright, let's jump back into today's topic. Buy the rumor, sell the news is a classic saying in the financial world you might have heard before. It's a trading strategy based on market psychology, and it applies surprisingly well to Pokemon cards. So what does it mean? Buy the rumor is when you buy an asset early, before official news drops, based on speculation, leaks, or high expectations. When it comes to Pokemon cards, that usually means buying cards of Pokemon that are rumored to be in upcoming sets. The earlier you can find out about a rumor or potential leak, the more money you can make, since that tends to be the bottom of a card's price. Once more and more collectors find out about that rumor or leak, especially when it's the whale collectors that have way too much money to spend on Pokemon cards, prices often rise quickly, as they too buy the rumor, which just feeds the hype and speculation train. And perhaps the earliest form of leaks are through trademark filings. This ties in perfectly with my last video, where I went over how to learn about trademark filings for the newest TCG sets early, and even went over the rumored trademarks for 2026 and what Pokemon might be featured in those sets. If you haven't watched it already, I highly recommend checking it out, since the information in that video is a crucial piece to maximizing gains. Here's a recent example where I bought the rumor. Back in February, when the trademark for Mega Evolutions was first leaked, I bought several Mega Evolutions cards and PSA 10s from the older XY era sets. I'll throw the prices I paid on each of these cards on screen. Now of course, buying the rumor comes with risk. Nothing's guaranteed until the Pokemon company makes it official. But as the saying goes, the greater the risk, the greater the reward. And like I previously mentioned, the earlier you make your move, the closer you are to the bottom, where the biggest gains happen. And that's exactly what happened here. Many of these Mega Evolutions cards that I purchased back in February were near their bottom. Those cards have gone up significantly since then, and the ones that saw corrections in their prices were very small. So, I took a risk that the Mega Evolutions trademark rumor was real, and bought in on the mega hype near the bottom before prices quickly rose. Now let's flip it. What does sell the news mean? Once news is officially announced from a reliable source, whether it's directly from the Pokemon company themselves, or from a trusted source such as PokeBeach that's been around in the hobby since the beginning, that's often when prices peak and start to decline. Why? Because the hype has already been priced in during the rumor phase. In fact, official announcements can actually cause prices to drop. Let's go back to the PSA 10s of Mega Evolution Pokemon that I picked up in February. This Mega Lucario PSA 10 XY promo from Furious Fist, for example. The Pokemon company officially revealed the Mega Evolution set in a press release in July. That's when the rumors of the Pokemon that would be featured in the Mega Evolution set became news. That's also when every collector and investor knew for certain that Mega Lucario and Mega Gardevoir would be the featured Pokemon in that set. And that's exactly when the price for this Mega Lucario started falling, eventually correcting all the way down from its $1,500 peak to around $900 in a PSA 10. And even in today's crazy market, where a lot of cards are hitting all-time highs every week, this Lucario still hasn't reached its earlier peak that it hit before the news. Let's look at this Mega Gardevoir as well, since it's the second featured Pokemon in the Mega Evolution set. I bought this card in February for around $200, which was near the bottom, right when the trademark leaks came out. Since then, the card has rose consistently, peaked in July, and has dropped a bit since then, much like the Lucario. Next, let's look at an example of a Mega Pokemon that was not in the Mega Evolutions base set. I bought this Mega Tyranitar EX from Ancient Origins in February for around $220. It's consistently gone up in value, peaked at around 1.1k, and hasn't dropped nearly as much as the Lucario or Gardevoir. Why? I'd argue that's largely due to the fact that the news the Pokemon Company officially revealed was specifically related to Lucario and Gardevoir, because they were the two featured Pokemon of Mega Evolutions. That's what played a part in those cards dropping in value. But for Mega Tyranitar, there hasn't been any specific news relating to that Pokemon. I'd expect it to drop in value if any official news comes out. Let's say Mega Tyranitar is in another set coming out. So as you can see, buying the rumor worked out incredibly well for me. I bought all these Mega cards for my PC since I'm a big Mega fan and never previously pulled the trigger on buying them in 10s. But if I wanted to realize profit, I would have sold the news when the cards peaked a couple months ago. You can utilize this strategy yourself going forward. Again, go watch my video on Pokemon trademark filings if you haven't seen it already to get an idea of Pokemon that I'm starting to look into. Of course, buying the rumor and selling the news isn't some perfect strategy that will guarantee that you maximize profits 100% of the time. But it's a strategy that I use successfully in traditional investing that I've also inadvertently used in the Pokemon card hobby. I'll certainly be using it more intentionally going forward. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I'm working on more videos breaking down strategies just like this one so you can stay ahead of the market. And let me know in the comments, have you ever bought a card on a rumor or sold one right after the news? I'd love to hear your experiences. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.